All right, third grade, you are gonna be answering some of your questions for reading. So I want you to just listen and you can discuss these with your family. So you're starting on page 70 today in your reading books, Swiss Family Robinson, chapter 8, The Farm. God will never leave us or forsake us, he tells us. And this has been proven over and over again in the life of the Robinson family in this book. So you're going to count the ways today that God provides for this family in this chapter. So first thing that you're going to ask, or that you're going to answer, what crops were growing in the fields near Tent Home? So they had some crops that they were taking care of. Tells you right at the beginning what they were. What were the crops that were growing in the fields near Tent Home? Why do you think they slept better in the rock house? Why did they sleep better in the rock house than they had, in the nest or whatever? Why was that such a better place? It can be easy, I hope, to figure that out. What were the snowballs that Jack discovered? What were they? And then why were those snowballs so exciting for Mrs. Robinson when she realized and discovered what Jack had found? Why was that so exciting for her? So what were the snowballs and why was Mrs. Robinson so excited about them? Then who put up the tent for the night on page 73? Who put up the tent for that night? And then why do you think Mr. Robinson wanted to build a boat? Why do you think he wanted to build a boat? So as you read through page 73, you're going to answer that question. Then 74, what did Ernest and Mr. Robinson find growing in the swamp? So as they're recognizing some things and going around different places, they saw something growing in the swamp. What was it? Then page 75, why did Mr. Robinson stop Ernest from hurting the black swans and her young ones? Why did he stop Ernest from hurting the black swan and her young ones? He had said something to him about it. Figure that out. Why weren't the Robinsons worried about the rainy season this time? Remember, before they had been worried about the rainy season, but why weren't they worried about it this time? What were some of the things, page 77, that the Robinsons did inside the cave during the rainy season? What were some of the things that they did inside the cave during the rainy season? And it shows their creativity. They were a creative group and shows what they were able to do. After the rainy season, what washed up on the shore? What was it in page 78? What washed up on the shore after the rainy season? And why was that like a big deal? Because there was something that they were able to get. Mr. Robinson was very excited, and he said that what he was finding was worth more than even their clothes. What was it, and why was that such an important thing? So then the chapter review, why did the Robinsons go back to the nest? Why did they go back to the nest? And then the Robinsons needed a farm because why? What was the reason that they needed a farm? What did Jack and Franz do inside the cave during the rainy season? So I kind of asked that question already, but there's another, answer, or not answer, but what did Jack and Franz specifically do? And then in what ways was Rock House safer than the nest and tent home? In what ways was Rock House safer than the nest and tent home? Which should be easy kind of to think through and figure out. So as you are reading that today, really take your time to be sure that you are reading, because I'm sadly not hearing you read anymore. So that's going to be kind of difficult for me to gauge how you're doing. But as you are reading, make sure you are reading very carefully. Read this a couple of times with your parents. Remember, don't let them, don't have them like sounding out the words for you. You go and break down those words. Put your syllable, break them down into syllables and say each part. Think about the special sounds that you've learned in phonics for, years, and the things that we've kind of gone over and reviewed this year. Take your time, read with good expression. Don't just read quickly and then not know the answers to the questions. The goal of this is to help with your comprehension as well. So as you're reading, read carefully, read out loud to your parents or whomever, and then try not to have to look back because you've read that, and answer the questions after you've read. So that way you're not kind of going, oh, let me look back and see what it says. Let me look back and see what it says. That means we're not reading for understanding. We're just kind of reading words. So remember, third grade, we have talked about that before. Don't just read words. Read the story, read the sentences, and think through what you're reading so that it makes sense to you. So do really well. One of your goals that I want you to work on is accuracy, reading that sentence without going back and stopping and having to start again. Try to read with correct accuracy through the sentences, through the story, and then really work on good expression. Definitely always want you to be sounding out words carefully. Don't rely on somebody just telling you the answers, but work at sounding them out. It's going to help you in the future as you continue to be good, awesome readers. Okay, so work carefully on that. Think those questions through carefully with your families and have fun reading that chapter. And make me proud by reading correctly, accurately. I'd rather you read slowly and accurately than to read quick and make a bunch of mistakes and not know what you're reading. Remember, we've talked about that before. All right, so do your best. I'm proud of you. Love you. See you. Bye.